Libra.
Libra, Happy New Year 2016. So listen, we're looking at your astrological forecast for January, and I can see how you have been devoting a whole lot of energy now in breaking waves, new paths and so forth, where I feel December, even late November, was all about now carving out a new path, and the energy has been with you and behind you. Now the shift here, when Mars changes sign out from your sign into Scorpio, that will be January 4th. Well, then you're going to see how your shift is going to now be focused more on your income levels, how you can perfect it. Can you up it a little bit? What can be changed? And I see you kind of crunching numbers there. And it's all about your worth, your sense of self-worth. Now, when Mars is in the sign of Scorpio, you're going to be digging really deep and feeling it and bringing new levels up to the surface. Mars goes through your second house once every 2 years. So use these upcoming weeks now to really kind of tweak this area of your life, and you'll come to see that that will benefit you in the next 2 years to come. Now, your main focus in January is going to be all about family, your roots, your foundation. We have the Sun, Mercury, the new moon, and Pluto in this area. So we have a whole energized section right now for you to really spend extra time with your family. It could be your parents needing a little bit more of your attention. It could be other families too, coming, perhaps visiting, or maybe you will be visiting. But the Sun here is also wanting you to look at how you live, where you live. It might be a time to beautify or change up certain things in the home environment. It's all about catching up, right? But the new moon here is also showing that there's something new that you can initiate. And the new moon here on the 9th, it's all about our intentions, right? And putting them down above and beyond, and also writing your abundance check to yourself. But the intentions could be that the focus on family members now should be followed up in a good way. Then you'll see that this new moon is definitely going to be not just powering that area up for the coming month, but over the next 12 months until that new moon shows up again here in this area. For those of you thinking that you would like to move in January, well, that is definitely possible, because now Mercury is having you look back over some, should I say, lost opportunities. So if you started on a process there in 2015, it might just bring it back around now. That's what Mercury retrograde does. And it will retrograde between the 5th and the 25th of January. So anything like, for example, remortgaging your home or signing any other contracts there, I'd say wait to February if you could. But you can do all the research that is needed and all the preliminary stuff. But when Mercury is retrograde, anything with documents, well, we want to just keep a special eye on it, right? Now, you've had Uranus in your 7th house for committed relationships for a while now, and it's still working there, and it will still for a few years. But this Uranus is also going to be bringing a couple of aspects to you here, especially on the 12th. That is Venus and Uranus trining upon each other, which is a wonderful aspect to have. It can bring some unexpected news or events. Your Venus at that point will be in the 3rd house and Uranus in the 7th. So news, communications, words of love, something that could be surprising, maybe even a short trip. Maybe just even if it's a day trip, you could come to expect around there on the 12th. But then we have here a few things going on, because we're starting off the month with the Sun and Pluto conjunct, meaning they're sharing that very same degree in the sky. And Pluto's all about transformation, and the Sun is you. So it being in the area of the 4th house, well, that might just be you making a decision, coming to a conclusion, powering through somehow where you could turn that wheel of Pluto. On the 7th, we have the Sun squaring off on Uranus. So that's you and your partner, Uranus being in that 7th house. You might need to make a decision. You might not see eye to eye on it exactly, especially because Venus is also squaring off on Neptune. So there could be some unfulfilled hopes or expectations, but it's a fast-moving aspect since it's the Sun and then Venus. So just a couple of days there, you might not see fully eye to eye. But then again, come January 8th, Venus will secure something for you, and that is because it is conjuncting Saturn. Now, Saturn will always want to give you the oomph of mastery, taking charge of, and this aspect is taking place in the 3rd house. So that may be some communication, some talks, negotiations coming in, and then I see it really locking in, and then Saturn will give you longevity in whatever these agreements will be. So as far as love goes, this is a day to commit to something between the two of you, and you will feel satisfied because the following days after the 8th, this is when all of these beautiful aspects are going to line up for you. We have Venus and Uranus, like I said, on the 12th. And that could be a surprise, something unexpected, a wow factor. And on the 13th, we have the Sun and Jupiter trine and Mercury and Jupiter trine. And when we have trines, that's when we receive. It's harvest time. And what are we harvesting? Yes, something Jupiterian, which is always very generous and abundant and happy-go-lucky. So I'm feeling this is a day that you want to circle in. It's between here, your 4th house, and then Jupiter in your 12th house. So this might even indicate it's something that you've been working towards or targeting spiritually. Since the 12th house is always those things that we dream up, it's our spiritual self. So you might just feel a calm and a good sense, and it is coming in here through your family, your roots, and so forth. Now on the 17th, well, Venus and Jupiter are going to square, and they both rule money, so you might want to be a little careful about what you're spending your money on. If it is something you absolutely need, well then no problem. But it is what I call a bling day, where sometimes we just do all of these purchases with whatever we find a little beautiful and gaudy, right? And then after a few days we think, what was I thinking, right? And then we put it aside. So if you don't need it, then you may not want to get it. So give yourselves a couple of days, and if this item is still calling you, well then there you have it. Then you know it's all good. On the 18th, now here is a day which is absolutely beautiful. Mars and Neptune are also trining, and this is what I would call a beautiful date night. It's very romantic. Mars is our passion, our drive, our sense of really wanting to accomplish, and then Neptune is romantic. It's the higher aspect of Venus. And so there's a spiritual aspect to it, there's this bonding aspect to it, and a dreamy aspect as well. And this Mars now in the 2nd house, and your Neptune there in the 6th house, well, it's definitely going to sit with you with your self-worth. And we were talking about the self-worth aspect of Mars in the 2nd house, right? So here you're just going to see there's this beautiful flow, and then the moon also is creating a whole series of trines on the very same day. So it's definitely the day to have a nice, beautiful candlelit dinner. Now for those of you who are single, this is also a great time to, in fact, perhaps attract somebody new into your life. Keep your eyes peeled for it. And then we have on the 22nd, Mercury, which is communication, and Pluto, which is transformation. They're meeting up in the same degree in the sky, just like the Sun and Pluto did on the 5th. So we might see that we will hear some news or have some communications or receive a green light for whatever it is that we instigated there on the 5th. So, for example, if you had, say, a job interview on the 5th, you might hear back now news on the 22nd. So whatever it may be for you, I don't have your natal chart here, but Pluto will always start new things. So this is a beginning of something there on the 22nd. Then we have the full moon on the 23rd. This will be in the sign of Leo. So for you, your 11th house, Libra. And this is a social time, so you might just, see that you will have a party or get together, a potluck, be surrounded by friends, just a very happy, enjoyable day and evening here on the 23rd. Now, last month we had the full moon on a Christmas Day, and that was the first time for 38 years, so how beautiful wasn't that? And especially for those of you living up north, having snow and then the full moon glittering on the snow must have been picture perfect, right? So, but listen, this is what we have here for you in January, and the Horoscopes are up, so you might want to listen to that, see what the cards have in store for you in January. And if you haven't listened to the forecast for the entire year of 2016, well, you'll find it on my channel. So listen, Libra, I will see you next month. Bye now.